Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the best Reddit answers being read to you. Enjoy! When was there a time where you shouldn't have laughed at something, but you did? It happens to me more than I care to admit, but the worst time was at my brother's memorial. An aunt we had, who was a very nice person, had got religion recently and decided to sing a gospel song. The problem was she couldn't sing at all. She got up, with no backing music, and sang a really out-of-tune gospel song. The worst part was she took really long pauses between some of the lyrics, so people started to clap thinking she was done with the song. She wasn't. This went on for like 5 minutes. She would pause, people would start to slow clap, then she would start caterwauling again. I buried my face in my hands and people sitting behind me started consoling me because they thought I was overcome with emotion, as my shoulders were shaking violently. I did have tears running down my face though. I still feel very bad about this. My dad, using 9 laughing tears emojis to announce that our family cat whom we love dearly had passed away. Had to put down dear cat. LOL, lots of love. Ha ha ha, just shared a similar story. Text from my mum, Grandpa just died, LOL. When I was a student nurse I was asked to tell an patient that his daughter couldn't come visit him because she fell down the stairs and had broken both her arms. I could barely contain myself, because the patient was there because he had broken both his arms. The apple does not fall far from the tree. Except that it did. The apple fell poorly from the tree. At my Uncle Bill's funeral, my Aunt Mary claimed that she had cared for him in his darkest times. I let out a solid ha. Everyone turned towards me. I finished with an uncontrollable giggle, poorly hidden behind my hand and a wad of tissues. No regrets. R.I.P. Uncle Bill. December 17, 2019. A friend told me her grandma had terminal cancer. Just a few minutes prior something funny had happened and it was still in my head. I started laughing about the funny thing, then realized how unbelievably inappropriate it was to be laughing at that moment, which just made me laugh harder. It was a vicious cycle that ended in a lot of apologizing. Similar thing happened to me. Mom picked me up from school during winter. As I got into the car, she started telling me that my dad had a heart attack. However, I began laughing, because someone had drawn a massive dick in the snow on a teacher's windshield. It was so detailed that it took genuine talent. My mom thought I was crying. I just pointed to the dick and she started laughing as well. I laughed at my grandfather's funeral. Didn't shed a tear. It led to few people, neighbors, not family. Fam knows what happened, thinking I did something bad to him. My grandfather was bedridden for 16 years, his left side of the body was paralyzed. I was 17, so basically all my life I've seen him bedridden. And he was my best friend. He asked me not to cry and always think that God took him because he couldn't see him suffer anymore and wherever he's going he'll be happy. So to distract myself from crying I started thinking about all the good times we had and ended up laughing at one such memory. So yeah, that was pretty terrible. I expected this to be something terrible, but that's actually really sweet. I hope we're all better now. In boot camp, I laughed at another recruit who was getting yelled at, because they were screaming some pretty funny poop at him. Then they turned around to me. They do this. A Marine Corps drill instructor can be funny as poop when chewing butt. Do they also kick gum while they're chewing said butt? Duck and dick kick 'em. As a kid I laughed during stressful situations, so I could barely hold it in when my parents were confronting me about almost flunking out of school. I do the same. One time on a school trip, a homeless man came up to me and was asking me for money, and my teacher shouted out, very loudly, in the middle of one of Paris's busiest squares, "Don't look him in the eye." Which made the giggles I was trying to hold in from being so nervous explode out of me. I got a serious telling off, from the same teacher, for mocking the poor. I just can't explain how mad I am, not mad at Op but the teacher. My friend's memorial service. He passed away at only 24. Obviously it's really somber and everyone is crying. His mom goes up to speak. One of my best friends who was one of his best friends used to joke about wanting to sleep with his mom. It was an ongoing dialect between them that was really hilarious. His mom goes up, starts talking, and he whispers, "Jay, still really want to motorboat your mom's tits, dude." Like 4 of us just lost it. It was extremely inappropriate and everyone stopped and just looked at us. I tried to pretend I was crying to ease the tension. Rest easy, Chris, we all miss you. I'm sorry for your loss. I like to imagine that Chris would have lost it right along with you. Sometimes you really need humor in the wake of terrible sorrow. I think everyone has laughed at a kid falling, even if you're not supposed to. It was at my job, the kid just flomped on the floor. Laughter could be heard across the store. I just laughed at the word flomped. That's the spirit. Anything at the library. Poop didn't even have to be really funny, the fact that you needed to be quiet and this not allowed to laugh was insane. You try to suppress it, but the more you do, the funnier it gets until you just have to run outside and burst into laughter because the last name of a book's author sounded like fart. In my Imperial Russian history course in university, one of the books was written by a guy with the last name Ovary, which sounds the same as ovary, and I always had to suppress a giggle because I was an immature little crap, haha. Funeral. Thinking of Highway to Hell in my head. Living Easy. Lovin' Free. Season ticket on a one-way ride. I was 18 to 20 and working at a department store. 3 men walked up to me and struck up a conversation while buying white button-up shirts. Apparently they were buying matching shirts for a wedding. They asked if there was a child suit section. One of them added, "The best man lost so much weight." I cut off the sentence with a chuckle, and he finished that he died. And looked at me like I was a monster. They all looked really sad or mad depending on who you looked at. They apparently were going to buy a suit for the son of the deceased that was stepping in for him. They asked to see my manager and she was really disappointed in me for laughing at a story like that. I did my best to tell her that I had no idea it was something terrible like that and I was just laughing since I thought he lost so much weight he needed a kid's suit. She didn't really buy it and she didn't respect me after that. I didn't laugh, but when I used to get uncomfortable my facial expression would look like I was smiling. I did it when my teacher was telling a sob story about herself. She got furious because she thought I was making fun of her and tried to get my family to send me off to a living facility for mentally challenged children. That escalated quickly. In high school we watched a play where a girl dies of a drug overdose. The girl playing the part was way over dramatic, really chewing up the scenery, and when she finally collapsed dead on her bed the theater was dead silent. A special needs kid in the audience yelled out "Oh well," and the place exploded with laughter. This made me laugh. What made it better is that the girl was very popular and super conceited. She was a cheerleader and dating the captain of the soccer team. They were going places. Unfortunately that place was running the drive-thru at the local Long John Silver. I was in my low teens, maybe 13 or 14, and with my mom in the drive-thru at Taco Bell. We had just ordered, and pulled away from the speaker, when mom just rear-ends the people in front of us. No real reason other than the fact that mom can't freaking drive worth a crap. Never has been. So there we are, clogging up the line, mom's doing what she's supposed to, and I don't know how much was embarrassment and how much was the ridiculousness and absurdity of it. I mean, come on. Really? At a fucking snail's pace in the drive-thru, and it's not like you didn't effing see them. And mom asks me to look in the glove box for some paper or other, which I do not find. But I do find a box of Tic Tac, which for some reason is suddenly hilarious to me, like the icing on the cake, and I cannot stop laughing. I'm certain this pisses mom off to no end, and looking back I feel terrible about it, but I just laughed, and offered mom a Tic Tac. What would have been your answer or question? Leave it in the comments below. Slap that like and subscribe button for more, and check out the link in the video description for even more answers. Peace out, and catch you in the next video.